I'm Tommy Quick, and this is Good People Podcast.
It's a tip of the cap, it's a pat on the back, it's a smile from ear to ear. They're the good people from round here.
Yes, welcome to another episode of the Good People Podcast. My name is Andy from In Other Good News, and this is the show where I get to talk to some amazing humans, some of the most inspirational people you will ever meet. And today is exactly that. We're going to talk to a man who is a champion of social inclusion. He's a stroke survivor, and he's tackling something massive. He's going to ride his modified bike, tricycle, across the 4 points, the four most extreme points of Australia. It's called the 4 Points Ride. I'm joined today by Tommy Quick. Tommy, welcome to the show.
Hello, Andy. How are ya?
Mate, I was genuinely excited when I realised we were going to be able to squeeze this interview in, because you are just about to launch the next phase of your big ride.
Yeah.
And that's happening like in a couple of days' time. So I managed to just get you in, and mate, I'm absolutely thrilled to be able to tell your story.
Yeah, well, it's a big story. It's a long and, like, not tedious, but it's a long story. There's
A lot of challenges.
a lot of challenges, a lot of hurdles,
Yeah.
but I'm up for it.
Yeah. So this ride is 9,000 kilometres long.
Yeah, well, it was 9,000 kilometers long, but now it's whittled down to about 5,250 k's left.
Yeah. So you've already got some Ks in the wheels. And this is something that, you're quick by name, but this is not a quick ride. This is a ride that's going to take you some time to get through, which is, again, why I'm so glad, because you're going to be gone for a long time as of this week when you jet off from Melbourne for your north heading part of the...
Yeah, so realistically we're going from Melbourne to Cape Byron to Cape York, and then we're driving down just outside Adelaide and doing Adelaide to Melbourne.
Wow.
Because we've already done the, Western Point to across the Nullarbor to where I got hit.
Yeah.
So,
and we'll get to that, because that, mate, is anyone else out there trying to make it harder for you to get this job done? I don't know. But we're going to come to this. The ride is massive. And so firstly, you're also raising money for the Stroke Foundation.
yes.
Yeah. So that's one big thing. And we're going to make sure we include the links here. So get behind Tommy for starters. Also, you're a champion of social inclusion, someone who's grown up with disability. So you're championing that cause as well. Yeah.
So, it's, I guess we'll get to it, I suppose.
Yeah. We can get to that in a bit. So if you only get this far into the podcast, make sure you keep an eye out for the 4 points, which we'll put the website up on the screen and in the show notes, so you'll be able to track. You can actually track your journey as you go, can't you?
Yeah, on a 30-minute interval, you can do that. That's thanks to 060.
Oh, cool.
Great people.
Yeah.
That's
fantastic. It's going to be an epic ride. So why would a bloke be doing this? Why would a bloke be riding his bike all the way across here? So we're raising money for stroke. You had a stroke. Yeah. You were 12 years old?
Yeah. So I was 12 years old. I woke up one morning and went into my parents' bedroom, and I was like, oh, I think I've got a headache. And so I persisted because parents weren't really convinced. Like every parent, oh, you just got a headache. And eventually Mum, in the 3 minutes Mum went and got me some Disprin or aspirin. I'm not really sure. Don't really care.
Yeah.
And like when she came back, she handed me some of it. I drank some, probably spat some out, because if anyone has tasted either of those objects or those pills, they're disgusting.
Yeah, they don't taste good.
they're not chocolate, I'll tell you that. And yeah, just I drank it all and like lay back on mum's side of the bed. Literally 5 minutes later, I was like, it escalated and passed out. Woke up 5 weeks, 2 days later from an induced coma because the swelling on my brain was so much that like they just needed time, essentially. The surgeons had put me in an induced coma.
Yep.
And yeah.
So that was 5 weeks. 5 weeks.
2 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, just.
That's unreal.
The process that I had to go through, when I woke up, I like immediately essentially had a panic attack because I didn't know where I was, what had happened to me. They couldn't move, like essentially I was incognito.
Yeah.
Couldn't speak, couldn't walk, couldn't move, couldn't even lift my head up. A nasal tube up my nose, a tracheotomy in my throat, and it was really scary.
Yeah, I can't imagine what that's like.
Yeah.
So you've woken up after 5 weeks in a coma, you're 12 years old, you got a bit of a journey ahead of you from there, you know?
Yeah, it's not been an easy road. Like anyone that goes through life has traumatic experience that has the ups and downs in life. That's what life is.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
and you basically had to learn to walk again, talk again, everything. Yeah.
So like I said, it wasn't an easy road, and at the first probably first period of time, I was very negative. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I remember early, like I made progress fast because that's. Like they say that for about the first 18 months, you'll make the most progress and then continue on. And I did make the progress, but like I was very negative. Like I remember one experience where I was walking with the physios and like I just I fell and they caught me. I just like dropped like a sack of spuds.
Yeah.
I just like said, oh, I'm giving up. I'm not doing it anymore. Like stuff you, stuff the world, very much. And yeah, so and then from there, like I felt that I was even more alone.
Yep.
And then it was a really tough, like, challenge. But because I had a love for sport before my accident and after, that I think that was the thing I needed to grasp on, like the thing that I needed to find myself again.
Yeah. Sport was a good vehicle for you to.
Yeah. And like it wasn't until I there were several experiences, like several glimpses of like with my OT Jane Galvin. She was phenomenal. She didn't take no for an answer with me. Like, you'll do this and you will like it.
Yeah.
And like looking back, I love what she did for me. And so one day we went outside and just like kicked the footy, and like me kicking the footy, I couldn't, but she like adapted for me, and like we kind of just like not even kick the footy, just play with the footy. I can't. I'm describing it really bad.
No, but she's adapted the sport for you to get back into doing something.
Yeah, and that was the first incentive. And then like a little bit later on, when I was just back at school, Jamie McLean, my teacher's aide, we went to the canteen. I just thought, there's table tennis tables there, go play that.
Yep.
And that was really the first, like, true incentive, because like I wasn't good back then. Now I'm all right.
Yeah. Well, you've done a lot of incredible things since picking up the table tennis bat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was like the true incentive that I could play sport.
Yeah.
And I still do play table tennis, not that often.
Yeah.
Mick, one of the coaches, would be pretty, it'd be joyful for me for what I'm doing, but also at the same time it'd be like, get your ass back in.
Why aren't you playing table tennis?
Yeah.
So you got through your high school though. You completed high school.
Yeah.
And then you, at that point there, you went to a meeting that changed your world somewhere after high school.
Yeah. So I went on this winter camp, so disability sports recreational winter camp in year 10, and I was kind of forced into it by my mum, as mum's there, and like at the end of it I was doing snowboarding, and Dan Jade was like, "Oh, you're a natural." I was like, "Yeah." And then from there, I was like, we were sitting around we're up at Falls Creek, and we were sitting around the cafe or something, and I was like to him, "Oh, is there any more of these camps?" Because like my mindset flipped in the space of like 2 days, and he's like, "Oh yeah, there's one in like 5 weeks. 5 weeks." I was like, cool. And then he quickly adds, no joke. I was like, "Oh, and there's plenty of girls." I was like, "I'm there."
So you went to the sports camp for the girls.
Yeah. So that was the initiative to get it. Like the first interaction with Lord Summers as a participant. And then I kind of became a staff member, and through staff member, I could go to a lot of community camps. There were 8 community camps a year.
This is Lord Summers.
Lord Summers,
yeah.
And from there, like about 2000, early 2014, so I graduated from high school, because I split my high school year 12 over 2 years. PE was my best subject.
Yeah.
By then, and like I was taking a break from uni. I'd actually done a personal training course with VU, and yeah, like, so I was just taking a break, trying to start my business, which was called Quick Rehab. Ironic because my last name's Quick.
Yeah.
And yeah, like so I was doing the camps a lot. One of these camps, I overheard a conversation about doing Kokoda.
The Kokoda Trail.
Yeah, the Kokoda Trail.
Yeah.
So I went to an information night, like a month later, and like after the information night, I walked home and I'm like, I'm doing Kokoda.
You decided that was it. You were hooked.
I was stamping my authority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you talked your dad into it, and a couple of relative, and
Yeah. So, my dad kind of joined in like a month later, and we had like 4 months to prepare. And then my uncle and his best mate were like, oh, we might have never done it, might as well do it again. Do it, really want to get the experience. So we actually ended up going 4 days earlier than the other group with the Lord Summers group.
So you teamed up with. So you went via Lord Summers, like with that organisation you worked at, help organise that. You went in a group. You're 4 days ahead.
Yeah, because like I was obviously gonna go a bit solo, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
yeah. And so and I kind of like it was for the oldies because like so they could keep up and
yeah, that's right. You got to look after them as well.
Yeah, I know that's what I'm taking down to.
Yeah. So then the Lord Summers group were 4 days behind.
Yeah, 4 days. They were 4 days. They were scheduled for 4 days behind, but like.
And what was the reason they were going to go start apart from the pace?
Because like they were going to do it in 8 days. We were going to do it in 12 days because I walked at a slow pace. So yeah, but they never caught up to me. I actually beat them by 2.5 hours.
What a champ!
So John Prosser will forever hold it accountable.
Yeah. So you beat them across the line.
Yep.
Or smashed them really because they were ages behind.
Yeah. I'm never gonna let it down.
No, don't let them live it down. If you get online, if you're listening or watching this, you get online, you can actually, there's a little mini documentary about that Kokoda walk. Yeah. And it's inspirational. I tell you, I'm watching that, and some of the way that you were able to get through the jungle with some assistance and that, it's so inspiring. Like, it's making me think I've wasted my time not doing some of these unreal physical challenges. But I mean, we could stop here and we could say, congratulations, Tommy, that's incredible. Like, it's incredible for anyone to do it, let alone with the challenges, of mobility and whatnot. So, but unsatisfied. Tommy Quick says, I'm not done. I've got to take on something a bit bigger.
Well, hold on. So I was like, there was definitely a low period for like 3 years or so, and like I was very, what's the word? Like I went around. I was starting out my personal training business. I was going to uni. I was doing a lot of workouts in the gym, Paramount Gym, because I worked there, but I'd also was joining the classes a lot.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah, like it was really good, but I had no like huge ambitions or no thoughts to do any like I was going in my mojo but not hitting my mojo kind of thing, and then
you're feeling alright but no big goals.
No mammoth goals, you could say. And then at the time I had a sports recreational, I don't know what the word is, like person.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And like he said, why don't you try a recumbent trike?
Yep.
I was like, yeah, why not?
So a recumbent trike is a modified tricycle?
A recumbent trike is like a laid back, like people are in the gym and they're like sitting down,
A sit-down bike.
and like their legs out in front.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like that, but it's got more engineering behind it.
Yeah. Actually, if you head to 4 Points,
Yeah.
you can see your bike on the front cover there, can't you?
Yeah. And so
you got into that. You got a recumbent trike.
I tried that trike with the recreational dude. I think his name is Ryan. And from there, I just I managed to get my hands on one in 2018, late 2018. After a long process.
Yeah.
One day I just rode over to Yarraville, like 5Ks, and I was like dying. and like me and my mate Hayden, yeah, me and Hayden like got talking about goals and how I'd done Kokoda and talking about his goals and stuff. And like it was kind of like he looked at me, looked at the track, he saw outside, looked at me again and simply just said, why don't you ride around Australia? Around Australia. And I was like, me being stupid, said, yeah, I'll do it.
Everyone needs a mate like Hayden.
Yeah. And like the funny thing is, Hayden has gone to Amsterdam and living there now. And like I'm doing this massive ride, so
Yeah.
Anyway.
So that inspired you. You said, yeah, do you know what? Maybe I will. Maybe I'll do a big bike ride, yeah.
Yeah. And then it was kind of refined to 9,000 Ks from Steep Point, the most western point.
Steep Point,
on our continent.
Mm-hmm.
Down on mainland Australia.
Yep.
Down to Wilson's Pond, the most southerly mainland Australia point.
Yep.
And then Cape Byron, Cape York.
Cape Byron, Byron Bay.
Yep.
Yeah. Eastern Point, yep.
Yeah. And then up to Cape York.
Up to Cape York.
Yeah. So all in all, it was 9,000 Ks.
9,000 Ks.
And the reason why I didn't do the Cape Byron and Cape York is because that's another 5,000 Ks of like a lot of nothing. So
yeah. So big challenge. And so you started the challenge, and I mean, as we said earlier, you've already completed some of this ride. And back in, I mean, we're talking COVID times. You set out to start from Steep Point, but you never actually started there, did you? Because of COVID.
Yeah. So it was a debacle. It was like, so we made, like, we're based in Melbourne. I'm based in Melbourne, and like we escaped out of lockdown.
Yep.
Like on the last day.
All right, just got out.
And we got out to South Australia.
Yep.
And from there we went around to Cow, which Lucky Bay near Port Lincoln.
Okay. Yeah.
And we got locked down there for a week. And then we drove to the SAW border.
Borderville?
Border village.
Borderville, yeah. I think it is, yeah.
Border village.
Oh, village, Border Village, yeah.
And yeah, and like you need the G2 fast. Like everyone was so lovely, the police were lovely, but like you need the G2 fast. So we actually started riding from SA-WA border back to Cow.
So got to the border, said we don't want to do the isolation period, so let's just start going back the other way.
Yeah. And then we applied for a G2 pass because the window opened up.
Yep.
Like for the SA to get into WA.
Yep.
And so we actually, like, it was just timing and stuff, and we actually got into WA, but it was just like, it turned pretty much realistically, 1 month to get over to Steep Point turned out to be like 6 or 7 weeks, and it was like a debacle. Like, we wanted to ride on my birthday, 2nd of August, from Steep Point, but that we actually ended up having to start in SAW border on the 6th of August. So, So I missed it. Missed the opportunity for the birthday. But.
And then, so you got to Steep Point, and it wasn't a lie. I saw some footage of you trying to ride your recumbent trike through some sand, because you went right out to the point, and you were trying to ride back in.
Yeah.
And I saw you have to get a bit of help up the hills and all sorts. Like, that was a tough bit of riding for you.
Yeah, like realistically, like my view is, like, unless you can get a good cadence and a good pattern with your cycling, like power output, which I didn't have as much.
Yep.
Like, no one in my eyes could could get up those hills.
It was too hard, yeah.
Because, like, the driving wheel, the back wheel, you've got a single wheel.
Yep.
And it's just digs
into
down,
the sand.
like, can't get any good traction.
Yeah, so tough going from what would have been the start of your ride. Do you know what I imagine? Imagine it had gone to plan and you'd got right across the Steep Point to start, and that was the first bit that you did.
Yeah.
You might have quit.
Yeah.
You might have quit at that point.
Yeah, I might have. Lucky all those things happened beforehand.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So you then worked your way back, and was it that trip that you got as far as South Australia?
Yeah, so we rode, like as you were saying in the YouTube clip, I kissed, like, when I got off that sand and gravel, I literally kissed the
Oh, you kissed the road. I saw that.
Yeah, because I'd never seen road so beautiful as that road. And like, yeah, like, it was good, and like we rode through the back country, kind of Kalgoorlie, like Meriden, Kalgoorlie, north, went across the Nullarbor, and like across the Nullarbor was.
That's a lot.
I remember one day that was just brutal, like headwind. I was averaging 9 kilometers an hour. That's not very far.
It's a long way across the Nullarbor at 9 k's an hour.
Yeah, I made 27 k's. I'm like, nah,
too hard.
Come out tomorrow.
Have we got time?
But like we made it across the Nullarbor, like, and then the next day was like a more kind of northwesterly, so
Yep.
It was not too bad. And then like the last 2-3 days was tailwind, so it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I like covered 117 k's
Oh, good. Yeah.
in one day, and that was 6.5 hours.
Yeah.
Like highest average I've ever done,
Yeah.
17.6 k. And yeah, so I got across and I've joined all the links, joined all the dots up.
Yep. So WA done. Check.
WA done.
Checked
Goodbye.
off. Yeah.
Never see you again.
Yeah.
and I was riding 3 days. Well, because COVID was coming out. It was November. When I started riding again in South Australia,
Mate.
mate.
Yeah.
I had my first joiner,
Oh, someone riding with you.
someone was riding with me because, to promote social inclusion, I wanted to people to join and ride with me. However far they wanted, just to promote inclusion.
Yep.
And so I had a joiner from Balaclava to Freeling. Freeling is where McLeod Daughters was set.
Right.
If you didn't know that.
No, I didn't. But did you bump into any of the daughters while you're there?
No, unfortunately. Yeah, and so I had a great yarn, had a great time.
Yeah.
Great classic hits.
And
then the next day it turned to shit.
The next day.
Yeah.
And then that was the infamous day that I've seen online. What happened that day?
So it was a easy day, 22k. I had a small section on the Stewart Highway, which is the Adelaide to Darwin Highway. And we're on it for a little bit. There were no cars whatsoever. And about 20 minutes into it, I heard these screech of tires, and 5 seconds later, I got hit by a car pretty much diagonally across. I didn't black out. And
Injuries?
Yeah, injuries. I got a shattered acetabulum, so shattered pelvis, fractured sacrum, a hairline fracture in my femur, and interestingly enough, the X-ray people were my thoracic 8, 9, 10, the spinae were fractured. And they're like, oh, have you had done these little fractures before? I'm like, oh, nah, don't think so. And then they're like, have you ever fallen? And I'm like, yeah, all the time. Because when I wear cleats and bike shoes. I wear 2 different bike shoes. One mountain bike cleat, which you can walk with, they're perfect. But I also have road bike cleat, which
they are slippery.
Yeah, and so I'd always fall over on them because getting off a 3-wheel bike, you're unsteady, your balance is out of whack because it takes no skill to maintain your balance on it. And so I'd get off and I generally either make it or break it. I have fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So So in one of your falls, you might have damaged your spine before.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah. So,
Live to tell the tale.
yeah, like spines, the little processes spiners, they do nothing anymore.
What do you need a spine for?
Yeah, exactly.
So so you've been hit by a car,
Yeah.
and you're just out there trying to get your ride done, and someone cleans you up in the car.
Yeah.
That's put you out for a while. That's taking you off the trike.
Yeah, so that ruled me out for about a year. And in that year, like, a lot of emotions were thought, were felt, and were processed. Like, it did, like, so when like, probably 24 hours later after being hit, like, it wasn't really sinking in.
Yeah.
I'd done a social post, and I was calling a mate, to let him know because he's a dear friend of mine, and like halfway through the conversation, my mum was right beside me. Halfway through the conversation, I just broke down. Absolutely broke down because the realization of, like, everything had stopped. Like, I'd have to go through rehab again. I'd have to, the ride had been postponed. Like, everything had come to a screeching halt. And it was tough. It was really tough. Like, from that point, it was a high road. But yeah,
That's hard.
yeah,
That's real hard. I mean, you've already gone through the earlier processes, and then you've trained up, and you've got the gear, and you've had some setbacks already, and you've got that far, and you're looking good, and all of a sudden you've got a year off and a hard road ahead of you trying to put it back together. Yeah. But something that I've learnt about Tommy Quick is that he's a hard man to keep down because you're back. And I've seen some videos of you just working on things, working on stairs, working on all sorts of stuff to get yourself back into shape and just getting that body strong and whatnot.
Yeah, I guess I always deep down wanted to continue on the ride. I thought, like, I'm not like, sometimes I quit, but I didn't want to quit on that particular goal. But like, each day your emotions are different. So like, but I continue on rehab. I had a great Christmas, and like, with family, and that was a big, like, realization of what I could and could not do, and what I needed to work on. And like the progression, to where I am today has been a challenge, but I've got there.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was because I knew the process, and I knew that because it was more mechanical rather than neurological injuries, I knew that I could get better. Better. So that was the
made it easier for you
mentality.
Yeah.
So, like, my pelvis was displaced, so knocked forwards from the car crash. But I got nerve pain, like chronic nerve pain, for a little period of time.
Yep.
But like, it was manageable.
Yeah.
So I I was much more confident and positive than the first time because I was in shock and sadness. And like I hadn't really done much bike riding. Like I'd gone on and off with the
in between, like after the accident.
Yeah, after the accident, like I would train like a week for it on the stationary bike because I was very, like, to this day I'm very more hesitant to be on the roads and to be on the highways.
Well, you've had that's not the only incident. Like you've had a couple of like other either near misses or like incidents, right? Like
yeah, but like it wasn't my fault.
Yeah.
Nah, like near misses. Yeah, I was riding down and there was me, a hedge, a driveway, and then a set of lights. I was going to cross over a set of lights. I'd done it like 200 times before.
Yeah.
Maybe exaggerating a little
bit.
Yeah,
198 times before. Yeah.
Yep. That sounds about right. And I saw the car backing out, and like, but I was already like halfway, and I started jamming in reverse to get out of the way. The driver didn't see me and kept backing out, and I just literally froze. Literally froze, and because like I'm thinking third time, all happened again. PTSD, like Sun King, that's characteristic, and luckily someone on the road beeped at the driver. And the driver went forward. I went forward to look back at the driver. He looked the other way and just went on.
Just took off.
Yeah, I guess he didn't realize that I had PTSD. How could he? But for me, it was significant. For him, it was like an everyday problem.
Yeah.
And
but for you, it could have really...
yeah, it shocked me.
Yeah.
So I feel like you've got to hear everyone's story to understand.
Yeah.
But like, but I was shaking, but like it wasn't until I got to the bike store, and like told my parents what happened. Got an unrelated call where like everything just broke down.
Just hit you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the problem was that I'd already locked in, because it was in early November. I'd already locked in to do the Great Big Bike Ride.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, like it was just had to do it. Had to suck it up, princess. Do it, and and like. So I was gonna do the Great Big Bike Ride. Then I was gonna do the Melbourne Tourism Prom. And that was really like it was all part of the program, but it was a test drive to see if I had the capacity, if I had the willpower, and stuff. But just touching on the Great Big Bike Ride, the reason why I chose the Great Big Bike Ride, and like I said before, I was training on what I call gym bikes, was because of safety.
Yes.
Like the Great Big Bike Ride is pretty much the safest you could get with like
It's well organised and there's support, and people know that you're there that day as well, so they give you a bit of space. And
yeah, well they close roads and stuff,
yes,
and like the first day I wasn't up for the challenge. I had to get picked up in the divvy van or
the sag wagon, I think they call it.
Sag wagon.
Is that what they call it on the Great Vic?
That's what they call it.
Yeah.
Have you done it before?
Yeah, I've done one. Yeah, I did one in the high country some years ago.
And did you get sag wagon?
Not me, mate. No.
That's good. That feels like so bad.
I needed a new bum by the end of it.
Yeah.
But I had a bit of a sore bum getting back on the bike every day. But apart from that, I got through it.
Yeah. And but like that was the first day.
Yeah.
I was dead to it. Like I was in bed by 9 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was hanging up the boots, but by the end of it, the fourth day, because I was only doing the 5 days. It's actually the 4 days.
Yeah.
There's 1 day's
Rest day.
Rest day. So they're telling lies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it was because of it being a lot of rainfall that they needed to reroute, and it was so instead of it being a shorter distance, it was a longer distance from Colac to Apollo Bay with a mountain, and yeah, like that was a good day. Like I was using the e-assist a lot.
Yeah. Up the hills.
Up the hills, but I'm promise you, I'm gonna wean off it.
Wean off the air assist.
By the end of the ride.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'm like there was a cutoff point time that you had to be in by 1:15 and starting the descent.
Yeah.
I made it in by 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And the feeling that I got of like doing that was phenomenal. It was like endorphins through the roof. And me and Eric, we made the descent together. It was 12 kilometers of just pure downhill, steep, and like it was just phenomenal feeling.
Yeah.
But like my battery was like literally on the end of its rope.
No e-assist for you.
I had so little e-assist.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great feeling, and then like.
And that motivated you, did it? Is that what made you think, do you know what, I can do this?
Yeah, like that was the initiation, the turning the key in the engine.
Yeah.
And then like that was over 4 days, 310 Ks. And so when I started the Melbourne to Wilson's farm, it was much more relaxed. We had to cover that 280 Ks over 6 days, so
yep.
It was much more fluid, and I felt that like I would have that drive, which I did,
yep.
but it wasn't till the last day.
Yeah.
Where we were riding from the entry point into Wilson's Pond to Tidal River, 30 Ks.
Yeah.
That when I got there,
yeah,
and when I and like I was actually flying because it's pretty bloody hilly there.
Yeah.
Like,
so a nice downhill descent into the southern point.
yeah, but you gotta go up first.
Yeah, there's no free rides here.
Well, what goes up must come down.
That's
what,
right.
What comes down must go up.
Yeah. So got you to the southern point.
Yeah,
That was the southern point.
yeah, and I'll never forget the people I did with, and the people who helped me to get to that point. I like my support crew, aka my parents, and David Jones, and like the support, who helped me around there to get there, to organize things, to plan routes. It's been it's not just you get up, you go, you do it. It's gotta have groundwork
Yeah.
beforehand. We're talking 6 to 12 months before planning, getting the sponsorships.
Yeah.
It's
To put it all together, it's a big.
big mammoth journey, and
Yeah. So how long ago was that? When did you hit that point there?
that was December the 11th, 2022.
Yeah.
And then that really gave me the incentive to journey on.
Head north.
Yeah. I was still I'm but had to make a decision. Relatively soon. And so in 2 days from now,
Yes. At the
20
date of this recording, you're just about to leave Melbourne
Yeah.
to head north, to head up to cover your eastern point,
Cape Byron.
and then to right up to Cape York.
Yeah. And then drive down the road.
Yeah, drive home.
Drive down to Adelaide, pretty much where I got hit. I won't be going on that
Yep.
highway again.
Yep.
But going from pretty much that point down to Melbourne.
So you'll go up, you'll hit the northern point,
Yeah.
and then zip back down to the point where you left off in South Australia,
Yeah.
and finish it off and come home into Melbourne.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be nice to finish in Melbourne.
Yeah, a good homecoming.
Yeah, you'll get a good crowd.
Yeah.
That's nice. Now, you haven't commented on my hat, Tommy.
I was saving the best till last.
Yeah, so I am not wearing this hat by accident, and either are you, as we can see. Or the shirt. Yeah, so obviously I'm wearing some merchandise,
Yeah.
and this is merchandise that you can get through your website,
Yeah.
and this helps to raise the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's more for the exposure
Yep.
than anything, because I think the importance now is because of COVID, post-COVID, inflation, all that
Yep.
shit.
Yep.
I think the importance is that the exposure to young stroke, as we were saying before, statistics, approximately 600 kids in Australia will suffer a stroke in that year. So yeah, it's pretty fun, and even people of working age, actually, so this is really close to my heart. One of the people who really gave me the incentive to make this a big project, Mark. He a month ago, he suffered an aneurysm. So aneurysm is a stroke, and and
This is someone that's been helping you.
he's the guy who set up the website,
Right.
created the logo, and he's of working age. like it can happen to anyone, anywhere, anytime.
Yeah. 600 kids a year
Yeah.
suffering from stroke, like yourself.
Or working age. Like
Or-
it's
yeah.
like that. Not the 600 is not
Yeah.
of working age, but working age.
Yeah.
Like is so.
Yeah.
Like it's your life,
Yeah.
and
it changes lives
yeah,
dramatically. Yeah.
yeah, it does.
So you're out to raise awareness around stroke and for the Stroke Foundation,
Yes,
and also to raise awareness around social inclusion.
yeah.
Yeah.
I everyone, the minority groups and people that are underrepresented. Why they're underrepresented? Why is like their views not being heard?
Yep.
So I
You want to be a voice for these people as well.
yeah, like whatever is fit, like especially around disability.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you want to raise $1 million. That's your big hairy goal.
Well, and then ideally yes, but because of the inflation, COVID, all that,
It's hard. Yeah.
it's hard.
Yeah.
So really more like exposure, like talking about it to your friends, and
Yeah.
if you're in the position to donate,
Yep.
donate.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
And where can people donate? If they're going to donate towards your fundraiser?
The 4points.org.
Yep. So
So-
your website, 4points.org, with a number 4.
Yeah,
Yep. Instead of the word 4. Yep.
and like ideally, a good goal I reckon is so there are 135,000 people within working age. So $135,000, $1 for every
Okay.
person.
Yeah.
I reckon that's good.
That'd be a nice starting number. I mean, you're part of the way there. You've got a long way to go.
Yeah,
And you know, one of the reasons why I was so excited to grab you before you zipped off up north was because I really want to get some eyes on this. I'd love for people to see this
Yeah.
and help you out as much as we can.
yeah,
Get the hat, head to 4points.org.
yeah,
You got other merchandise on there as well. And that can all help support, raise some awareness,
get the exposure.
get the exposure onto conversations around stroke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it'd be like when I've completed it and we've completed it, 'cause it's not just me, it's for everyone. Like every influence helps me.
Yep.
And like it'd be great when we are done.
Yeah, yeah. And like you've taken on something epic, and it's, again, this is truly an inspirational story. This is something that I just, when I realised I was going to be able to do this interview before you left, I thought, I was so excited. I thought this is a story I want to tell, and I want to help you as much as we can. So you're an absolute inspiration, Tommy. Like you're not only what you've done so far, but what you're planning to do. And I can't wait to see you the day that you roll back into Melbourne from your South Australia finish leg.
Yeah.
And
Come join me.
yeah, we'll be there. And
you're a keen biker.
hire a cycle. Maybe we can ride the last leg with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe that's what we should do.
Exactly.
There you go.
Do a podcast today.
Oh, yeah, there you go. One live, one with the, maybe it'll be magpie season or something, and just to stir, add a bit of colour to the.
Yeah.
It's been an absolute pleasure, Tommy, having you here today. All the best, mate. All the best. Good luck with your trip heading up north. You're heading into the cooler months. You might get a little bit of southerly breeze, hopefully.
Hopefully, well, it's the dry season up north around May to July, so that's why we're leaving now, because the time.
Oh, you won't get
time it well.
Because some of that's really quite inaccessible up the very top, isn't it, when it's wet?
Yeah, it's like I've got a friend on Instagram, and she's up there now, and yeah, she's waiting for the floods to drop down.
Yeah. Absolutely. People can find you on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah. It's the 4 Points Australia on Instagram and the 4 Points Australia on Facebook.
Yeah, no worries, and we'll share those links as well. So, hey, everyone, get behind Tommy quick and his epic 4 points ride covering the 4 extremities of the Australian mainland, west, then south, and east, and north.
Yeah.
And a little bit of east-ish again.
Yeah.
Tommy, thanks so much for coming on the Good People podcast. Good luck with everything. We wish you all the best, and we'll see you rolling in to Melbourne in the future.
Yeah.
Good luck with everything.
Thank you, Andy.
No, it's an absolute pleasure, mate.
Well, it's a tip of the cap, it's a pat on the back, it's a smile from ear to ear. They're the good people from round